Hi everyone, my name's Kristen. I also go by Ms.Filmingo, and thanks for joining me today. I'm so happy to share my interview with Aidan Langford. He is one of the stars of the new coming-of-age comedy Roommates, directed by Chandler Levesque, available right now on Netflix. And in this film, Aidan portrays Sadie's younger brother, Alex. I spoke with Aidan a few days ago. He spoke about working on the film, he talked about how he got into acting, as well as he spoke about his music. Now, before we jump into our interview, let me give you all a brief synopsis of Roommates. When a hopeful, naive college freshman, Devon, played by Sadie Sandler, asks the cool and confident Celeste, played by Chloe East, to be her roommate, a blossoming friendship spirals into a war of passive aggression. Now that you know a little bit about the film, let's cut over to my interview with Aidan. So, my first question for you is, what made you want to become an actor?
Oh my gosh. Wow. What made me want to become an actor? I think when I was younger, I would put on little shows for my parents. So I would
Aww.
make them like sit on the couch and watch as I would do like a one-man show, whether it was like a scene I was acting out or like performing like a Lady Gaga song. I'm sure there's like my mom has a bunch of blackmail on me from when I was like 8 of these like performances in the living room on our iPhone 3. Um, and so I was doing that when I was younger and I had a lot of energy. And I think that my parents were just kind of like, oh my gosh, this kid needs an outlet,
Yeah.
somewhere to do this. So we don't have to sit down and watch this every night. Um, and so I got into acting at school originally. I was doing like school plays. And
Oh,
then after that, I moved into doing theater at Dallas Theater Center. I grew up in Dallas, and the children's theater there as well. And then I started getting into film from there and got into acting classes. So it all started when I was really young and just kind of needing like an outlet to express myself.
it's funny you bring that up. I was just actually in Dallas visiting some friends for the first time.
Yeah, it was a great place to grow up. But my one true love is LA. I do love the
Yeah,
city so much.
more opportunities in LA, I'm sure.
Yeah, and just a lot of like creative people that you
Oh,
can meet and talk to.
oh, 1000%. So, speaking of creative people you got to work with, Chloe's and Sadie Sandler and Chandler Levesque. Can you talk about the process of hopping onto this project, the audition, and what you enjoyed most about working with everybody on Roommates?
Yeah. So I had auditioned for this project back in the spring of, I guess, 2025. And then a couple weeks later, I heard back that they wanted to see me again, and I was going to be doing a chemistry read. So I read with Sadie and Chandler, and that was the first time that I had met them. We did that on Zoom, and then I didn't hear anything back for honestly a while. And then like a couple days before we started shooting, I got the call that I had booked it and I flew out to New Jersey and started working on it. And I was really excited because I was just super drawn to this script. It felt like a lot of the movies that I sort of grew up watching, which I had kind of like a nostalgia feeling for. And I also think that like Kira and Jimmy, the writers, and Chandler as well, have a really great understanding of Gen Z and like
Yeah.
how they act and how they are, and nothing felt forced or weird. I think sometimes you can fall into a trap of trying to portray Gen Z and it becomes a little bit cringy because not everyone understands how we
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
They had a great understanding of that and of the anxieties that a lot of my generation has, and they were able to capture it really well. And then working with Sadie and Chloe was honestly like such a rewarding experience. They're both incredibly talented actresses, and I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to sort of meet them and work with them. And now we're all friends, which is really cool. Like we kind of clicked instantly on set, which
Hmm.
is more than I could have asked for. We have like a group chat and we're sending
Oh,
like reels. Sadie and I really hit it off with like music. We are fans of a lot of the same artists, Alex G and Ethel Cain. So we had a lot of like avenues that we could go down for conversations, which was really
right.
helpful in building that chemistry, which I
Yeah.
think then just makes it so much easier when you're filming and doing your scenes because it just sort of comes naturally and feels very like free flowing.
And the best chemistry is actually with you and Sadie. So I'm so happy to see like you guys have a great relationship in the film, but also a great relationship in real life. Now, getting into Happy Madison, because it's Happy Madison, I also have to ask, what are some of your favorite Happy Madison productions or films?
Oh my gosh, my like favorite film growing up and that I would watch with my family was 51st Dates with Drew
Oh, yes, that's one of my
Barrymore.
favorites.
Um, I am such a fan of Drew. I think she's amazing, and obviously Adam is a legend. So having them both in the same film together is great.
Yeah.
And then when we were filming, actually, was when the Happy Gilmore 2 premiere was happening. So I was able to watch that as well while
Oh,
we,
wow.
which was kind of crazy to be like, I'm working on this film right now with Happy Madison and Adam and his daughter, and I'm also watching this film that just came out.
Yeah.
Like it was just like a total like mind fuck a little bit.
Yeah. And I heard you mention you filmed in New Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl, so I have to ask, where did you film the movie?
We filmed in a couple places, but the main place we filmed in was Clifton,
Oh,
which
yes.
I'm
Yes,
honestly
very
very glad about.
familiar with
Clifton is
Clifton.
such a cute neighborhood. And when I got there, I did not pack enough clothes for the time. So I had to go and like shop for like new clothes. And I was glad that I was in Clifton because I was able to just like walk to the Urban Outfitters and pick up some clothes and then like was able to like stop and get a coffee. Like it's such a cute little like neighborhood. There are so many like great shops in that area.
Yes, totally. And then how does Roommates stand out compared to the other projects you worked on? Because I saw you worked on a Dolly Parton movie. You've done a couple of other things. So how does Roommates stand out compared to the everything else?
Yeah, I think Roommates is definitely leans more into the comedy side. I feel like a lot of what I've done has been more drama. And this is kind of my first big comedy, which was really fun to do. And also, the actual process of filming this was so different than a lot of the stuff that I've worked on, and that we were really encouraged to just like improv and play around and see where things land and what happens,
Mm-hmm.
which is something that you don't necessarily get on a lot of projects. Sometimes it's like we are sticking to the script and we're going to be word perfect, every time. Whereas this, it was kind of just like mess around, see what happens, like
Yeah.
let it come out, which was like a super rewarding thing to be doing.
Oh, well, that's amazing. And then I did do a little research. I saw that you have some music. So can you talk about your music? What it's like working in a studio, and hopefully, I hope one day your music gets placed in a film one day. So can you talk a little bit about your music?
Oh, that would be really cool to have my music placed in a film. Yeah, my music kind of when I was younger, I played piano, and that's kind of was my start in music. And then when I started acting, I was still playing piano a little bit, but kind of it did fall to the back burner for me.
Hmm.
And then I didn't think about making music for years until the SAG strike happened, and I was like, oh, I don't have this outlet for creativity or for like making stuff that I used to have. And felt kind of like, what can I do on my end that can give me that like opportunity to just like create? And so I started messing around on GarageBand, as I think most people who like get into music start doing,
Hmm.
um, and just seeing what I could do there. And then I ended up getting a MIDI, which is just like a little keyboard basically that
Right.
connects to your computer, and it tells the computer what chords you want to plug in. And so then I was like relearning piano. It did come back very quickly. I think it was like a muscle memory thing where like once I had it in front of me again, I was like, oh, I remember this, and it's all coming back to me now. And so a lot of my music kind of starts with just working things out on piano first and figuring out sort of the melodies from there, and then writing lyrics. I write a lot of lyrics in my notes app, and then we'll translate those to songs. And I feel like a lot of my inspiration comes from Lana, of course. She's a huge inspiration. Artists like Ethel Cain, Phoebe Bridgers, Mitski, and then some like older ones like Fiona Apple and
Hmm.
Mazzy Star. I'm a huge fan of the Smiths. And
Hmm.
more recently, I've been sort of gravitating more towards a rock sound, more pop punk, like Paramore
Oh, yeah.
esque type sounds that has been really fun to like experiment with. because I'm not the biggest guitar player. I'm not very good at
Mhm.
it. But thankfully, I have friends who are very
Yeah.
good and good at electric guitar. And so I'll sit in the studio and be like, oh, I think, during the chorus, it needs like a guitar line that's sort of doing this thing. And I'll like hum the like melody.
You're right.
My friend will be like, oh, okay, yeah, 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 yeah. And then like translate it to guitar, which is so cool that that's even like a thing that's possible. And that I have friends who are like talented and can hear what I'm saying with my mouth and my voice and
Yeah.
be like, I know what you mean, and I'm gonna put it on guitar.
Oh, well, that's amazing. Like I said, I hope to see your music in a movie one day, but also ending on a final note and a question. What do you hope audiences take away after seeing Roommates and seeing your wonderful performance?
Oh my gosh, I hope that people take away communication and
Yeah, that's
talk
big
to
here.
people in your life. I feel like in my own life, I'm very similar to Sadie's character, Devon, in that I don't necessarily like confrontation and I don't like to talk about things. And I'd rather sort of just brush it under the rug and not worry about it and
Hmm.
not have to think about it. But as we see in the film, like when you bottle these feelings up and don't talk about them with the people in your life, or the people you care about, or worse, the people you're living with, things can kind of blow up in your face. And it's always
Hmm.
better to have a conversation sooner rather than later and just sort of
Right.
get it off your chest. And another thing, just from Alex and sort of what happens to him with Celeste, I think specifically for people who are sort of figuring themselves out and trying to be more true to themselves. Everyone's on their own journey
Hmm.
and sort of on their own path, and there's no rush to that. And like the timing is always right. And whether that's in 5 years or 10 years or whatever, um, it's your decision and your journey. So you get to figure yourself out sort of on your own time and don't feel like there's any pressure to know exactly who you are at any given moment. And that's honestly goes for just being in your 20s too. I feel like we
Right.
often, compare ourselves to others and feel like we need to rush, but we're all on our own paths.
That's going to wrap up my interview with Aiden. Make sure you check him out in Roommates, available right now on Netflix. This also concludes today's video, so please comment, like, and share. Subscribe to the channel so I can bring you more videos like this. Follow me on social media. All the links will be provided down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!